Nate Streeter, StreetSmart Marketing, Paperboy Printing and Distribution. Again, here with Steve Lundgren.
Hey, everybody out there in Radio Land. How you doing?
And we're continuing our review of the book, The Pumpkin Plan by Mike
Michalowicz.
And thank God Steve knows how to say his last name.
It's complicated, you know.
This is one of our probably simplest things we're taking from this book. But and Mike's not the only one in the marketplace, again, who's saying this. But oh my goodness, you know, and it makes me think of Gary Vaynerchuk too. Vaynerchuk, who just goes crazy with how some of you guys treat the way you do business. And really the premise of the point that we're pulling from the Pumpkin Plan is don't hide the secret sauce.
Yeah. What is this, like Tabasco there, or what are we looking at?
Yeah, I grabbed that. I don't know what it is. It's secret.
Yeah. Oh, that's why we don't know what it is.
Right.
I get it. Oh, okay.
You know, you just got to put it on and see what happens. So, but so many of you, one thing that's changed, I mean, I've been in business now for, about 13 years, and everything's changed. The internet has changed everything. Really, ideas are not valuable. Whatever it is that you sell, whether it's a service or a product, it's likely someone can get it somewhere else.
Oh, so is that the secret sauce?
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that what you sell is not really the value. It's how you execute your business that has the value.
Oh, I see.
You see? So the thing is, you know, look, I realize that, you know, they keep KFC's 14 spices. How many spices?
Secret, whatever it is.
In a vault. But I've even heard from them that that's just an advertising ploy for the most part. And, you know, the truth is with the right technology, someone could probably put it on a microscope or something and figure it all out anyway. So, you know, the truth of the matter is that there just isn't very much value in whatever you do. You probably overthink how much value it has. I'd rather have you spend less time trying to protect the dang secret sauce and more time, or thinking that even your secret sauce is anything special at all.
So there's something that's more important than the recipe.
Exactly, it's the execution, and that's where I'm trying to go with this,
Okay.
and where Mike is trying to go in the Pumpkin Plan.
Yeah.
You know, I realize, like I said, there's some cases. I mean, I've worked with, and we've seen with chefs before. You and I were talking about this, Steve, where sometimes they'll just tell you the ingredients, or maybe they'll have a public recipe that they put out that's actually slightly different than the one they have in their restaurant. You know, there's different ways that I get it. You know, there's some unique things about your business. It's not like I'm going and telling my competitors exactly how we do all of our GPS tracking, for instance. We know we do it completely different than they do. It's not like I'm calling them up and saying, here's how you should do it.
Yeah, nowhere to draw the line on what's proprietary and what isn't.
Yeah, but I also have no problem telling my customers, you know, this is what we do, you know, from more of a actual results standpoint. It's not like I keep all that hidden in fear that my competitors are going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because they could figure it out anyway, right? I mean, so it's the execution that is everything. And usually, I guess to also say, my experience is when you really have success, it's that you found unique ways to execute.
Yeah.
It's not about, you know, at a restaurant, it's not about the about all the different ingredients and stuff as much as it is about the service and the atmosphere and
the presentation.
Presentation and all these other execution type things.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, if you did all those things good, if your stuff wasn't that good, you probably still would have success. I guess that's the flip side of this, right? Is again, part of the reason why the secret sauce, I'm saying it doesn't matter that much, is that if you execute well, I've seen that time and time again. In fact, there's clients of mine, they have nothing at all different than their competitors from a product standpoint. Yeah. They just execute so much better.
Yeah, and on the food and restaurant analogy, I mean, there's no new elements out there. I mean, you still got a meat and starch and greens on the plate, and it's just, you know, different ways to do it and how it's presented and what it looks like and the way that tastes, you know, that this new thing that they've cooked up. But you can be upfront with that.
Right. And I think building authenticity and trust is so valuable. So, you know, depending on what kind of business you're in, that can look a lot of different ways. But, you know, just being honest with people and showing them how you're doing things is going to build trust. So that's partly why we don't hide it either. Because the truth is that if you fix computers for a living and you show them how to fix it themselves the next time rather than calling you, you're building a lot more trust. And long term, if you think it's something so easy that it only took you 30 seconds, at some point they're going to figure out how to do it themselves.
Right.
And then they're going to look at you with suspect and distrust, and not call you in the future. So, again, you have to really understand these things, and don't think that you've got something that, at least recognize where it's at. In that case, let's say part of what you're being honest with them about is this is something you can maybe figure out, but you don't have time, and I'm here to help you with it.
Right.
There's just a transparency with that, though, then.
And then when they really hit a dead end, who are they going to call? They're going to call the guy who was closed and wouldn't tell them anything about stuff they could fix themselves?
Right.
Or is he going to call somebody that is going to be honest with them and tell them if they can really fix it themselves or help them through it?
Right. So, this is part of what I'm saying is there's a level of transparency, there's a level of trust, there's obviously the whole theme of this is about execution. Yeah. But you have to understand these different concepts. The internet is not going away, folks. Okay? This is only going to get more and more and more and more. The reason why lynda.com can charge $25 a month is not because Lynda has anything unique. Quite frankly, every video on Lynda you can probably find in some way, shape, or form across the internet. But Lynda has trust.
Now, who's Lynda? How do you spell that?
Lynda.
Oh, Linda Weinman. Yeah, all right.
Yep. So she...
Educational.
Yeah, and, obviously... I don't know what they got, like tens of thousands of videos on that site now. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, I was being a little facetious because I'm aware of that from many years ago. I've been doing the training with she's world famous. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's a great example.
But it is. But see, because Lynda, she has millions of users around the world, right? Mm-hmm. Who are paying her to get information that they could get all across the internet.
Yeah.
What is it that she does different? A lot of it's about the execution. It's about how she organizes it. It's the fact that I get so frustrated sometimes when I go look up something on YouTube and it takes me a half an hour to weed through all the crappy, things. I could go to Lynda and spend 6 minutes.
Right.
Well, my time is worth money. Yep. She doesn't have crappy videos on her thing. Yep. She's already weeded them out. So, again, this is about execution. She realizes there's nothing that they teach that you can't find anywhere on the internet for free.
Yeah.
And they're very honest about that. Mm-hmm. So I think, this is part of it too, is that you just have to recognize that in this new era, maybe this has always been true to a certain extent, but it's getting more and more and more true. Yeah. As sort of the world is taking over, or the internet world is taking over. You see what I'm saying? So, same thing. Anybody can go and read the Pumpkin Plan. Right? Mm-hmm. I mean, these concepts that we teach, and help our clients with, anybody can do it. Anybody can read it. But what happens on their own? Often nothing. Yeah. Well, in fact, you and I have joked about this with clients of ours that, have had to drop off coaching or something. We sort of joke like, it's amazing to me how it could be 2 weeks after. And already we're seeing huge changes in their business where they're not doing the accountability. They're not, it's like they drop right off the wagon. And it's because it's all about execution. They knew all the ideas to do. Right. Or like exercise, right? Mm-hmm. Same exact example as far as execution is everything. Everybody knows they should be exercising. They probably even know what exercises they should be taking. But execution, that's different. So anyway, I know that there's a couple different concepts we've been toying around with here, but hopefully you guys can kind of see how they relate to each other. Right. So,
and even on the Pumpkin Plan, I'm going to ask, let's get a show of hands here. How many of you people had heard of the Pumpkin Plan before? Okay, and how many have read it? All right. See, very few. I mean, we're able to introduce them to something and become more trusted because they can see that we're looking out for some of this stuff for them and want to help.
Yeah, and I know a lot of you guys. I've seen it too. You get two chapters in, and that's it.
Put it aside.
Yeah. So I get that. But, I don't care how much you read. Just execute. That's the thing. That's what we're really talking about here.
There we go.
So, but we can help you with all this. And if you have trouble with these things, we want to be a resource to you. Call us, email us, connect with us on Twitter.
Yeah, if you have your recipe, your secret sauce, let us know.
And of course, we always love it if you like our videos and share them with others. That's our biggest compliment. So,
who do you know that needs to hear this?
Yeah, and send that to them.
There you go.
Thanks so much.